Hey everybody, Jimmy from Superpath here with my buddy JH from Growth Plays. You're hiring an SEO editor. We'll talk about that. But first, JH, give us the rundown on Growth Plays. Who is it? What is it? Who are your customers? You just kind of give us like the 30,000 foot view of the business.
Absolutely. So Growth Plays is a small but mighty agency. There's about 10 of us full time right now, and then quite a few contractors in the mix as well. We service, I'd say, like deep tech, developer tooling, cloud infrastructure, sort of like the more technical side of B2B technology. We do have some more non technical B2B SaaS customers as well. But for the most part, we are working with developer tooling, infrastructure, cloud platforms, and really helping them use SEO as a platform for thought leadership, product marketing, and demand gen. So I'd say while there is an SEO focus, there's a much bigger like business acumen focus to what we do. And really our goal is all around pipeline generation versus just like a lot of clicks, a lot of content. It's really about the most efficient use of resources possible to generate the biggest business impact as possible.
Nice. That's awesome. And so this role in particular, it's an SEO editor role. It is a full-time role, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And fully remote.
Yes.
Okay. Could you give us like a broad sweep on the role? Like what is this person's job? What does their day-to-day look like?
Absolutely. So great question. So in any given month, we typically are delivering over 100 different content briefs to customers.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a lot.
yeah, it is a lot. And we are going to be making the transition actually to fully fleshed out content in the near future. Probably in the next like 108, in the next 90 days, we hope to be delivering that to some customers. In the next 180 days, all customers. And we are going to be using a mixture of some pretty complex AI and human assistance. And really what we need to make sure is like, are we sticking with business impact? Are we helping our customers differentiate? Are we actually using this as a platform to let the brand speak about what it cares about and not just SEO fundamentals? I think just about any company can produce a brief of like, how long should it be? What should the title tag be? What should some subheadings be? What questions need to be answered? Really, how do we make this special? How do we make this a platform or like an opportunity rather for this company to say what they really want to say versus just speaking to the keyword and hitting the SEO fundamentals? So on any given day, you would be editing briefs, you'd be providing feedback to freelancers to get them to adhere to the recommendations or to the guidance that the brand gives us. But I'd say a big part of this is we have one person that's really transitioned to like a full-time AI workflow role. And you're going to start noticing issues and inconsistencies and problems with some of the outputs. And so you are going to also be acting as like a feedback loop so that the AI can be better and more refined and sort of
Oh,
figure
that's
out
cool.
patterns and issues. So the idea is there's going to be a constant feedback loop from the person who's executing these and building these AI workflows to the actual output. So you are going to be sort of the first line of defense to make sure that there's not like weird patterns and inconsistencies. We've noticed some issues with Gen AI, oftentimes like brings up some things that are just not accurate, or it may make the same hallucination a few times. Being able to spot those and then basically adjust the workflow so those no longer are an issue, that's going to be really key. But I'd say like, again, it's not just how do I edit the content or how do I, make this transition go like from this section to that section, or is there CTAs here? Like that's all kind of basic and we can use AI to do a lot of that. It's really like, are we elevating the conversation? Are we bringing something new to the conversation? Are we infusing some element of their brand or something they really care about from like a thought leadership standpoint into this? Or is it something that anyone can produce? And if it's something that anyone can produce, we need to send that back to the drawing board. So I think there's quite a bit of like quality control. And if you have used AI before, you're definitely going to be hitting the ground running a bit because that is going to be a major part of the role is finding efficiencies and also finding like where the AI is not a good fit. And we need humans in the loop on that.
Okay. A couple follow-up questions about the AI component, because it sounds like it's more than, dump the text into Claude and make sure it adheres to the right style guide or something like that. Like it's really baked into the workflow from first principles. How familiar should this person already be with some of the more advanced AI tools, like not just kind of chatting back and forth with Chat GPT? And then I guess how much is there a balance, I guess is what I'm getting at, from like the amount of kind of like AI brain they're going to put towards this and the amount of like creative / editorial they're going to bring to it?
Yeah. That's two great questions. I'd say I definitely would have want this person to have used like ChatGPT or Claude or something like that, or like Copy AI or AirOps or something. But like, you do not need a ton of hands-on AI experience in like an advanced sense. But like, if you're already finding ways to be more efficient with editing with ChatGPT, that's really interesting. It's something I would definitely include in the cover letter. Like that is something that we want to hear about, is like, how are you using it today? What are you finding out about it? What do you like? What do you dislike? Where do you find that it's weaker? Like if you have strong opinions about AI, where it's good, where it's like, please, like we're looking for you to educate us. And then I'd say we're finding some things already with AI. Like it's not, if you are very specific, it can rewrite content, but these workflow, it typically rewrites everything. It doesn't just rewrite what's an issue. So like, I think keeping content up to date, we still need to figure that out. And there's going to be a lot of human assistance on that. But I'd say part of the goal here is going to be like, figure out the patterns over time, even the things that are not like automatable right now. But how can we get one step closer to doing that? How can we find additional efficiencies? Because if we can remove sort of the SEO toil from the role, that's going to allow this person really to focus on like the meaningful business acumen role that maybe ChatGPT is not going to understand, or OpenAI is not going to understand as well. So I really want to like, yes, this person is going to be automating some stuff with editorial workflows, but we're always going to need that human brain in there to figure out like, how do we make this different and unique? How do we take risks? How do we do things that maybe aren't the same as what else is on the search results, and really find a way to differentiate ourselves and stand out? I actually think the content that's performing best is the content that kind of bucks the trend. At least that's what we're seeing on our side. So how do you come up with those ideas on a regular basis? How do you work with freelancers to come up with those ideas on a regular basis so that the content is unique and differentiated, and not just, well, we have a lot of site authority and like it's really well structured and it answers questions up front, so it's going to rank well. Like, no, like how do we create something that's like defensible and going to be hard to beat?
Man, it sounds like fun. Appreciate that it's not like this is so boutique that it's only humans and AIs. We're not even going to touch it. And it's also not, plug in the keywords and just let OpenAI go to town. It's a very thoughtful approach. And I think it sounds like a really cool role. What has this person been doing in the last couple of years that will make them very prepared for this? Like I'm imagining someone's LinkedIn. Is there like a job title that they currently have, for example, that would like set them up nicely for this role?
Yeah, I'd say if you're like, I would definitely want someone that has some editorial experience. Like, if you are a content marketing manager, that's awesome. But like, you would have to be someone who has managed an editorial workflow and other writers. So if you are like a pure IC, while we'd love to find a place for you, like at some point in the future, we're really looking for someone who has manage a bunch of moving parts and is giving feedback to people so that their output improves over time. Like this isn't just an IC role in the sense of like, you produce the work, you're fully responsible for that, but you're also responsible for like, what are freelancers doing? How can we improve editorial workflows across the board, not just with your own individual workload? So I'd say like content marketing manager could be the role, editorial lead could be the current role they're in. I'd say the thing is, we are looking for someone that has some technical B2B experience. Like if you've worked with developer tooling or workflow automation tools or RPA tools, like something that is not really like small business focused, but more focused on like marketing to the mid-market and the enterprise. That's really what we're looking for. So someone who understands that audience and also isn't afraid to dive into like the nitty-gritty technical details, because if our content's really surface level, it's not going to push people to go deeper. So we need to be able to speak to the specifics of the product, and you will be expected to learn, not, if it's like a coding tool, we're not going to expect you to like write lines of code or whatever, but we are going to understand, the expectation is that you're going to have a conceptual understanding of what the product does, the pain that it solves for, and how to speak to that inside of the content that you're editing.
Okay, cool. All right, sounds awesome. So, folks, check out the job description. There's a button, go apply. For Superpath members, if you want someone to review your cover letter or your resume, shoot me a DM in the community. I'll be happy to take a look at it before you apply. And then, anything else, JH? Any other kind of final sales pitch for potential applicants?
One thing I did want to include is that we do need overlap with US time zone. We're
Okay,
open
yeah.
to folks outside of the continental U or outside of the US, but this person does need to be on, like you are going to be, it's not like a go off in the corner, totally async role. Like you are going to be getting on calls with people, figuring stuff out. You're going to be solving problems in real time. So you do need to be on this time, like on a time zone close to US time, if not on US time. And I'd say final pitch is, we're growing pretty quick. And I'd say we work with some fantastic companies like Lattice and Launch Darkly and formerly Calendly. You would be working on brands that you know and see in the news and possibly use yourself. So this could be a really great role for someone who wants to have an impact on companies that, are household names, at least if you live in a dorky household. But we're really excited about this role. This is sort of the next step in our editorial evolution. And this is going to be a really major part in our growth path. So excited for people from Superpath to apply.
Yep. Hopefully, we're going to send some good folks your way. And thank you for making time to do this too. It's great to see a face, hear a voice, learn more about the role in the business. So appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jay.